Thank you. Good morning. I'm going to call this meeting to order. It is 9:30 a.m. Members of the public have been invited to participate in this meeting of council by attending in person at the council chambers in the municipal office located at 10227 Ilderton Road in Coldstream, or by contacting the municipal clerk to receive a registration link and join the meeting electronically. Members of the public may also access the meeting live stream on our Middlesex Centre YouTube channel. So just before we get underway, June is a busy month, a special month across Ontario, and there are several important recognitions I want to highlight. So first, this month we celebrate National Indigenous History Month, Seniors Month, Pride Month, National Accessibility Week, Parks and Recreation Month, and Local Food Week. Each of these observances speaks to our vision of Middlesex Centre as a thriving, progressive, and welcoming community that honors our rural roots and embraces our natural spaces. We are connected to the land, to each other, and the traditions that have shaped us, and at the same time, we continue to grow as a place where everyone feels welcome and included. The next item up is our land acknowledgement. The municipality of Middlesex Centre recognizes that we are gathering on the traditional territories of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and Lenape peoples. We acknowledge the enduring presence of First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people on this land and are committed to moving forward in the spirit of reconciliation and respect. Pardon me. Our neighboring First Nations communities, which continue to live as sovereign nations, include the Chippewas of the Thames First Nation, Oneida Nation of the Thames, and Munsee Delaware Nation. There are no additions to the agenda this morning. I will now look to council. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest? Seeing none, then the first item up is our delegations. Today, we're going to welcome Sue Clark, Warden, and our CAO, Paul Shipway, at the county office to come forward and give us their annual update. The middle button is the speaking button. If you push that, then I can, there you go, green light. When you're ready, go ahead, the floor is yours.
Good morning. Thank you, everyone, for allowing us to come and visit with you. I don't know that I know everybody, but I know most of you here. And as Ina said, we're from Middlesex County, and you all know that, so we won't repeat that. Why we're here today is we wanted to provide a brief update of some of the initiatives that we've undertaken at the county that we think will connect and support the local municipalities and the communities within Middlesex County. So we're going to start off by introducing our strategic plan, because everything we're doing is grounded in that plan. We'll be looking at economic development, collaboration and partnerships, sustainable infrastructure, organizational adaptability. And so what you're going to see today are practical examples of how that strategy is being implemented, particularly where the county is supporting growth, infrastructure, and regional coordination. So Paul's got the clicker, and we'll.
Through you, Madam Mayor, thank you again on behalf of the county for having us here today. We're always excited to get out and visit with the local municipalities and continue a discussion that goes on mostly in between these council meetings, but it's great to get out and see all the local municipalities. One of the key focuses, as the warden touched on this term of council, has really been economic development and tourism at Middlesex County, and the county council has spent about 2.5 years really analyzing how the county can deliver that service and how it can be the most beneficial to our communities. So County Council landed on an economic development and tourism strategy 2026 to 2030. It focuses on 6 priority areas focused on investment, attraction, workforce development, and tourism. But more so than that, it recognizes the role the county plays in a 2-tier system where the local municipalities maintain capacity for water and wastewater infrastructure, which is really deterministic on investments within the county. So we want to amplify the abilities of our locals and provide additional resources to try to lure in investment. The warden is quick to point out, and I think we mentioned this when we were here last year, Middlesex County has less industrial and commercial assessment than a number of our comparator municipalities. So our programs at the county level are designed to amplify your efforts locally to attract those sort of investments. And sort of the key programs we've utilized is the Community Improvement Plan Support Program. I know Middlesex Center has made application to that program, and that just augments the money that you have locally. The County Loan Program for infrastructure projects, I think with the recent announcement of the Provincial Development Charges Rebate Program, we may have some local municipalities further looking to utilize that program. And the County Employment Lands Readiness Program, it was put in place this year by County Council, and it really is more the feasibility and moving forward and getting lands ready to be put into the inventory. Do you want to add anything on that one or no?
Well, I know I'm here as the warden, but as the mayor of our neighbor, your neighbor next door, Adelaide Metcalf, we undertook to borrow $200,000 from the county loan program. And the reason we did that is $40,000 in my municipality is 1% on the taxes because we're so small. So we went ahead and spent $250,000 of township money to do the first phase to establish an industrial park of 560 some odd acres at the 402 interchange, because that is the prime spot and it has been identified as such. So to get it to the next stage, we had to spend another 250,000. So for a small municipality, that's a big raise on our tax base. So if we can spread that over 5 years, which is what we've done from the 200 we borrowed at the county, that moves the needle and gets us down the road. And as Paul mentioned, our industrial assessment for Middlesex County sits, I'd be generous saying 2.8, whereas our neighbors in Lambton are 5.6, 5.8, and Oxford County is pushing 9%, I think, close to that. So we are so far behind. And unfortunately, the residential tax base is what carries the burden for many of our expenses because we don't have a more robust industrial assessment base. So we're trying to be part of the solution. And I think that the county coming up with this program, it can benefit a lot of municipalities to get you to the next stage, because you have to spend money to be able to get down the process to get to the site readiness stage.
Thank you, Madam Warden. Next up, the forest management plan. So I think last year when we were here, we talked about how county forests are an known about service area, I guess. And this year, what we've done is a 30-year horizon update to the forest management plan. It's out for comment right now. It's been presented to County Council in draft form, and it will come back to County Council for ultimate approval after consultation. It supports both environmental stewardship and community access to these resources across the county. Additionally, when the province and the city of St. Thomas were establishing PowerCo and the lands associated with that, a significant tract of forest was cut down. So the province created a D-permit application grant program, and Middlesex County has made a substantial grant application to that program in attempts to get provincial funding to increase the county forest footprint across Middlesex County. So we're waiting to see how that looks. Library master plan, obviously beautiful shared center at the Komoko Wellness Center, and the Middlesex County Library is really how we reach out into the community, offer decentralized services, and do some great things with early on as well. The team is really committed to being forward-looking and respond to the needs of the community. So what we're doing with the library board, Lindsay and the team, is conducting a library master plan. It's really focused on the long-term vision for library services across all branches. We have our basic and comprehensive. We want to see if any of those basics transition to comprehensive. We want to see with our population growth where potential libraries may be in the future, and also opportunities for partnering in shared spaces. So we're just trying to add that strategic lens to one of our most important service areas. There will be a public engagement and interested parties consultation associated with the library master plan. So keep your eye out for that. I know we're great at sharing each other's socials, so that will definitely come up. Next is Middlesex County Connect. So it's sort of a surprising good news story. Middlesex County Connect was originally funded through the Community Transportation Grant Program. That was a 100% funded program. Middlesex County made application with support from a number of municipalities to the Ontario Transit Investment Fund. This is a 5-year commitment where the province will provide $3.4 million, and Middlesex County and its partners, the City of London, the City of St. Thomas, and the City of Sarnia, will contribute the other $3.4 million to operate the service for 5 years. We also took over the Strathroy Caradoc route, or the route known as the Strathroy Caradoc route, that goes to Sarnia. That's why Sarnia is participating. What we've seen 2025 is 14,000 plus riders, a 27% increase, 98.5% reliability. So that's buses showing up where they're supposed to, and increased fare revenue. Middlesex County also received access to the provincial gas tax funding for transit. So that will help offset some costs. We continue to engage with our partners like Oxford County, seeing if they'll become financial contributors, as it does get complex when you're running a service beyond the boundaries of the county. And we're also engaging with large private sector entities. We're finding that a lot of the transportation within the service is getting people to and from educational institutions, workplaces, and healthcare. So we're trying to leverage those partnerships where we can. It's a work in process right now. Next up, the capital program. So we always just like to touch on the thing that likely most residents and the public interact with from the county is the infrastructure. So this year's program is a $27.2 million capital program focusing on improving core assets. The majority of that investment, over 80%, is directed toward transportation infrastructure. So roads, bridges, culverts, and this year has 56.5 kilometers of road rehabilitation and improvements, 4 bridge and structure projects, and the rebuilding of the Bryanston Garage, which is a critical point in our plow routes in the winter and a great depot in the summer season. So continued investments in that program. Next is Human Services. So I believe Joe Windsor, our Director of Human Services, was out already once, and if not, he will be out. But our goal here is really to amplify our role in this sector and further enhance that partnership with the City of London. As mentioned last time, the City of London is the service manager. Middlesex County does contribute over $7.4 million annually to the regional housing system, reinforcing our role as a key partner in that. We're trying to do a better job of communicating that and working with our partners to understand how county residents can get access to that money. A significant portion goes to the London Middlesex Housing Corporation. Beyond that, Joe and his team are leading the Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan. We have representation from Middlesex Centre on that steering committee, and that's a partnership of the county and all local municipalities to satisfy that legislative requirement. And lastly, we're doing some interesting things. The municipality of North Middlesex has had great housing numbers that I'm sure the CBO can attest to. And they were one of the municipalities fortunate enough to get half funding. And they were doing so well, the CMHC and the federal government came to them and said, would you like to be one of 32 municipalities across Canada, which is wildly impressive, to get additional funding to support the development of housing? So North Middlesex obviously accepted, and one of the things that we're doing in partnership is a design-ready housing program where the CBOs, county planning staff, and North Middlesex are working to have design-ready plans that are hopeful to enable certain types of ARUs. So we're at the beginning of that process, but I think it's a great project and demonstrates the success when we together.
I'm just going to add that since Joe has taken on that role specifically, dealing with the housing piece, that we have had, I won't go into detail, but we have had discussions which historically haven't maybe happened with the London Housing Corp to say, you know, there hasn't been a lot of investment in Middlesex County like for 50 years, basically. So we did sit through a presentation where they were doing a proposed build. It's just in early stages. So we are now at the table and they are seeing that we need investment in Middlesex County.
Yeah, thank you. And then MLPS continues to be our largest service area by expenditure, and they continue doing a great job of delivering high quality paramedical services and being a provincial leader in pilot programs for community paramedicine and long-term care homes, and specialized dispatch. Last year, they were recognized at AMO for the Rapid Response Unit. And they're implementing the new medical priority dispatch system this fall, which will improve triaging and resource deployment. So excited about MLPS and the rejuvenation of facilities and workforce that's going on there. Shared services is really likely the most important with local municipalities in the county, and how we can deliver the best outcomes for our citizens and interested parties. So we just like to highlight, obviously, the standards, planning and development, economic development and tourism, ITS, legal. David Samuels has done a wonderful job as our director there, sort of reinvigorating that shared services. Accessibility, procurement with Josh White and his team has been highly subscribed, to the point that we're adding another resource for that. And we're confident that's delivered shared benefits across the county. The CEMC role and really just anything that comes up. I know our legislative services teams have tried to be more support with the candidate information session, and then also the Joint Compliance Audit Committee. So we're trying to step into that role where we can be partners on a number of things, even if we haven't historically. And that goal is just to provide the most positive outcomes for our communities and use resources efficiently. And that's just a slide on election readiness. I know the teams are also working on orientation sessions where we'll share resources where we have commonalities, and the teams are working on that, so I won't disclose too much about that.
Well, I just want to say thank you to the team here for organizing, because did most of the heavy lifting for the information session that was held here for those that were interested. So thank you very much for that, for hosting.
Yeah, and then last up is the Governance Administration Center. So I think when we were here last year, we spoke conceptually about it. It's been awarded, construction is ongoing, and we'll see what happens, but we're hopeful to have the last meeting of this county council in the courthouse building and the first meeting of next county council in the new Governance Administration Center. County Council did determine it was going to fund that $14.7 million project through a combinations of half reserves, which is proceeds from sales from the existing properties, and then an IO loan, just to retain financial flexibility. Nikki Nurse, our new director of finance, did an analysis for council that's available online. So we're excited about that and continue to provide project updates on the website. We're having a staff town hall about it next week to kind of get everyone ready internally, and we're looking forward to see how the rest of the summer shakes out here. So as I mentioned with the opening, this is really just an opportunity for the warden and I to come around and kind of present on those high-level topics. But the most important thing is our continued communication and collaboration on all the days between our visits. So thank you for having us here. We're happy to answer any questions, and we're encouraged to continue discussions beyond today. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I will now look to council for questions. I have Councillor Burrs.
Okay, thank you, Your Worship. Through you to Mr. Shipway. Your Director of Social Services came out. I don't know whether he's acting or he's permanentized. Is it Joe that you were talking about? Yeah. Gave a good presentation, talked about homelessness, and the county makes an arrangement with a motel to provide some overnight accommodations. But what was stated was, and I'm saying this, I have some experience with this through Mission Services of London, that maybe you'll provide a couple nights of accommodation, but what are the plans beyond that? Person on homeless in a homeless status will need more than a couple nights. So what do you do?
Well, just down the road on Egremont is the hotel motel accommodation program, and that's maybe what you're referring to. And those are not just 2 nights. I don't quote me on this, but it's either 60 days or possibly 90, but there is a maximum time they can be there. And to be there, there can't be any substance abuse. You have to accept the help that's being offered. That recently, Joe's team under Joe, he already has a community navigator, and that's a person that helps out mostly the homeless people. But they also have there's 3. There's a The new one is the Workforce Navigator. So they work closely with the Community Navigator. So a person going into the motel program on Egremont, they have to accept the help. So that's very encouraging that it's a wraparound service. Is it the Indwell model? So no, it's not, because they don't get to stay indefinitely. But the idea is there to bring them in, to provide a stable environment, to give them a chance, to help them with, there's a housing housing navigator, community navigator, and workforce navigator. Those three work together to move the people out of that facility into permanent housing. So, and there's different combinations. There's one, I won't tell you exactly where, but in Adelaide Metcalf, where one of my ratepayers worked with the housing navigator, and she has, rather than have one person or family rent her house, she has 3 senior women, and they each rent a room, but they live collectively together. And then there's support back up through the community navigator to make sure everybody's kind of on the straight and narrow. So you may have to see more of those options going forward in rural communities. I can't speak to the need. I don't know what the exact need is here in Middlesex Center, because I know that in Adelaide Metcalf, where the motel accommodation program is, I challenge you to tell me if any of those are actually Adelaide Metcalf residents. And not to be crass, but we're a farming community, and if you don't work today, you don't eat today. So it's a different mindset there. But a lot of the homeless, it is mental health issues. And so Joe's team works very well with them, and they do use that accommodation program down the road. I don't know if that answers your
Yeah,
question or
yeah, it
not.
does. Yeah, I just absorbed that it was 2 nights and you're on the street. He did mention the navigator, so it sounds like there's a plan to try to usher them through and with wraparound services. So your answer is thorough. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, there is emergency as well. I know that Councilor or call it Mayor Grantham, he had an issue on a Saturday night and reached out to Joe, and his team responded immediately, and they got that individual shelter.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
yeah.
Good answer.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Arts. Go ahead.
Through you, Madam Mayor, I'd like to thank the county for everything that they do for us. We're an agricultural based community, and I know road reconstruction and bridge and culverts, when there's a detour, the urban population, you know, it's not bad for them, but for the farming community, it can be a real bad thing to happen. So it's just I've had this conversation with our roads department too. It'd be kind of nice when you do stuff, try to expedite it, because for a farmer to go 5 miles around the block to get somewhere every day, it's not fun. So thank you.
Yeah, I from personal experience on the Pike Side Road when the bridge was out, yeah, it's not fun driving equipment all the way down to School Road and around. Like it took an extra 40 minutes, to be quite honest. So yeah, I was happy to see that they timed on Catesville Drive, the bridge is being reconstructed, but they're also paving the Pike Side Road. And I thought, oh my gosh, because that's what I think of as well, Hugh. And it looks like they waited for the one to be done before they shut the other one down, because that wouldn't have been pretty. So I think Chris and his team at the county are mindful, and they try to strategically not lock everything down at once, but we are in construction season, right? So a lot of the stuff we had to wait till the frost was out of the ground before they could do final applications on the roads. So I know the Melbourne Road right now, was educated yesterday. I spoke to Ryan Hilliger and I said, what the heck is going on all the way from Strathroy to Melbourne? And because I don't know anything about road construction, they were burying tile on both sides of the Melbourne Road all the way down. And I was told that when they're bringing a road up to standard, if that drainage was not in there before, now's the time to do it when they're doing the road upgrade. So that's something that's happening there, and I'm sure that's not cheap in the budget that we set aside, but that's more work that's being done as well. So.
Okay, is there any other question, comment observation? I don't see any hands or lights, so, oh, did you want to?
Yeah, I just wanted to say in closing that I hope that you've noticed some positive changes and growth at the county since we've brought Paul on. It's always good when you have a fresh set of eyes. I'm not saying things weren't done great before, but sometimes when there's fresh eyes, you look at doing things differently. And me coming from the private sector, I appreciate our HR person at the county and our finance person because they look at it like it's a business and they say, how can we do things more efficiently? So I've already noticed in just simple reporting that we're looking for more efficient ways to do everything. And I can't speak to your municipality, but in Adelaide Metcalfe, every 49 cents I collect, I have to send the county 38 cents. So I'm a bit of a, so I want to know what value am I getting for my 38 cents? Because that is significant on every dollar, right? So if you kind of feel the same way I do, and you have any suggestions where improvements can be made, please don't hesitate to reach out to Paul or myself and the team, because you only do better when you know better. Okay?
I'm glad we didn't miss that comment. I didn't want to cut you off, and I'm glad. So I'll just echo the positive comment. This has been a great update and report. I think everyone's learned something from it today, and we're here to work with you. And I know we have been working on different things already, so we're stronger together and appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for coming, and see you next week. Okay, thank you. All righty, so we have a motion before us that the 2026 Middlesex County Local Council update be received for information. And I have Councillor Coles, Councillor Cates, thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. We are going to move now to Court of Revision. The members of the Court of Revision are Councillor Arts, Councillor Shipley, and Deputy Mayor Brennan, with Deputy Mayor Brennan serving as the chair. So I will turn it over to you. Oops, sorry. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
There it goes. We have a recommendation of council adjourn the regular meeting at 9:57 a.m. to sit as a Court of Revision on the Woodgirts Municipal Drain. Mover, please. Shipley and Brennan, thank you. All in favor? And now we can go ahead. Sorry.
That's okay, thank you. I will call the Court of Revision for the Wood Gertz Municipal Drain to order. All appeals are required to be received in writing 10 days prior to the date of the Court of Revision as per the notice provided. At this time, I don't believe we have received any appeals. I'll check with the clerk. There are no appeals. Do members of the committee have any questions? Seeing none, are the members wishing to deliberate to adjourn to deliberate further? Is that required? No? Okay. Recommendation that the Middlesex Center Court of Revision approves the schedule of assessment for the Wood Skirts Municipal Drain provision adopted by bylaw 2026-032 and as outlined in the report prepared by Spread Associates Limited dated March 18th, 2026. Could I have someone move that? Councillor Shipley, second by Councillor Arts, all in favor? So moved. Recommend that the Court of Revision for the Wood Gertz Municipal Drain adjourn at 9:58 a.m. Thank you. All in favor? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to item 7.1. This is the recommendation with respect to the minutes. And the motion is that the minutes of the Middlesex Center Council meeting held on the 20th of May, 2026 be approved as presented. I have Councillor Cates and Councillor Shipley. Thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. And the next item up is the consent agenda. We have a number of items. Is there anything here that anyone would like to have pulled and speak to? There are no hands, so the recommendation before us is that all of the items listed under the heading of consent agenda for June 3rd, 2026 be adopted as recommended. And that is moved by Councillor Shipley and Councillor Arts. Thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. Okay, staff reports. The first item up today, or the only item up today, is the Recreation Facility CIP Loan Program application. Chief Administrative Officer Tiffany Farrell is here to present and speak to the report. And first, we do have one registered delegation. Respecting this CIP loan matter, we invite Dr. Chris Chant to delegate as this time. And then staff will follow after this presentation. And then we will ask questions, speak to, and do all the business part after we've all had the reports. So Dr. Chant, when you're ready. There, green light. Go
Appreciate
ahead.
it.
Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Council, and staff. Thanks for the opportunity to speak with you this morning. I want to speak with you today in the role of principal owner, president, and CEO of HGLW Holdings, as well as the London Middlesex Sports Corporation, which operates under the business name of the Elite Performance and Injury Center, or EPIC, as many of you may know, be more familiar with. Those two companies are sister companies. They have the exact same ownership structure and the exact same owners, which I think is important as part of the discussion. I really just have 2 points to the staff report that I want to make sure is clear. Number one is why we've applied to the CIP loan in the first place. And number two is why we feel that option 2 of your 4 options is the only one that really you should consider. Most of you would be aware that in September of 2024, we entered a licensing agreement with the municipality to build an addition onto the back of the Kamoka Wellness Center. This licensing agreement allowed us occupancy term of up to 35 years if we maxed it out. Our cost for the licensing agreement was basically the cost of construction. So we would pay entire cost of construction, development, design, and then obviously once we took occupancy, we would have our maintenance costs, a portion of the property taxes, portion of the utilities for the building, and any upgrades that were required during the length of the term. Unfortunately, late winter, early spring of this year, it was brought to our attention that licensing agreement was in breach of at least one, if not more, municipal policies. And the current municipal staff and legal was uncomfortable or unwilling, or to be fair, probably unable to honor that agreement, despite the fact that it had gone through council, been voted on, signed by the mayor and clerk, and fully executed. My ownership group obviously wasn't thrilled with that, but understand that things happen and mistakes happen, and we were willing to work together to try to make a compromise, since the building was already built and we had moved in and we're in it. So after a lot of discussion, we landed on, we've made a verbal agreement that we would go ahead with a 15-year lease. So we're missing out on 20 years of occupancy essentially. And we would apply for the CIP loan program so that the cost of the building, constructing the building, which is that number in front of you, just under $2.2 million, would be fronted back to us through the loan program. And then we would pay it off during the 15 years of the term of the lease. So essentially, we're out 20 years. So that's the bad part for us. The good part for us is the monies can be then paid off over 15 years as opposed to upfront like we have done. And the municipality is still not out anything. This is not a cost to the municipality at all, right? We borrow the money, we pay it all back with interest over the 15 years. So that's how we ended up applying to the program. The reason was we applied to the program and then again, unfortunately, had our application sent back saying it was incomplete because we didn't offer security on the loan for the full amount in the form of a different property building or credit surety through a bank. So our argument with this is that this is a bit of a unique application where we're not applying for money to take as a loan to build something that hasn't been built. This has been built already. It's been on the asset, it's been on the books as an asset to the municipality for over a year now. Your insurance company, for insurance purposes, has deemed it's worth at least 2.6 million, which is probably from an insurance company less than what it's actually worth. So even if we didn't pay back 1 cent of the loan that we're proposing to take, you have you're still in the black by $400,000. So different than an asset or a security that most people would put up for a loan. In addition, after the loan's paid back in 15 years, you still keep that security and keep that asset. And then the municipality is able to use it to lease and to make revenue off of. So yeah, so that's basically all I had, because I know that time's limited in my 5-minute delegation. So I'm happy to take any questions at whatever stage as part of it, but I just wanted to clarify those 2 things for council. So thanks again.
Okay, thank you. And I think you just should stay there because
Yep.
then we're going to move on to the other presentation and then they'll probably, yeah, so stay put.
Yep.
Okay, so item 9.1.2 is the staff report, the recreational facility program application, and Tiffany is going to take care of that one.
So thank you, and through you, Mayor DeVete. So this report presents the first application under the municipality's new recreational facility loan program in the CIP, Community Improvement Plan, from HGLW Holdings Incorporated for approximately $2.2 million related to the Kamoka Wellness and Recreation Center expansion. Staff are satisfied that the project meets the intent and objectives of the program by expanding recreational services, supporting health and wellness, creating jobs, and contributing to the local economic growth. The issue for council to take a look at with this application is that it doesn't meet the CIP security requirement as written in the CIP plan. That within the plan, it calls for either land holdings or a letter of credit when the property is municipally owned. Instead, the applicant has proposed an alternative form of security through a corporate guarantor, which will require legal and financial review before any agreement could proceed. Staff have added information into the report around a corporate guarantor. So council has 4 options as presented within the report. The first being to deny the application, the second to approve without any security, the third to approve with 1 corporate guarantor, or the fourth to approve it with 2 corporate guarantors. All of this would be subject to the legal, financial, and agreement requirements as outlined in the report. At this time, I'll open it up to any questions.
Okay, thank you for the overview. I will now look to council. Questions of either party or comments? Siegfried starting us off. Go ahead,
Okay.
Councillor Burrs.
All right, so question is, I think, Tiffany, you have met with Dr. Chant to discuss all of this, correct? Did he express what he just expressed to you, that he's looking for no security? Is that what transpired, or have things changed?
Yes, so through you, Mayor DeVete, that is the request of the applicant, is to have no security on the property, or on the loan, sorry. And but the applicant had put forward the option of the guarantors. So originally, as Dr. Chant had mentioned, that the applicant, there was not the security as written in the CIP, but the corporate guarantors was provided as an option, either 1 or 2, and then, but the preference of no security has been stated. Thank you.
Okay, follow on. So the follow on is, the one thing we have to move forward, I think you understand that, we certainly do. I know this isn't what you had originally agreed to. The one big thing, the big question I have is, we can't be seen as favoring your application so we have to find some middle road. I'm looking at this and I know that you're asking for no security, would you be okay with option 4? That is, Epic is the guarantor. Is that a problem? And can you explain that?
Okay, thanks. Ideally, no. And the reason being, again, is as we're discussing no security, my opinion is there is security, and it's actually better than actual security because it's there, and you got the municipality owns it and will continue to own it. The downside of us having to use LMSC as the security is LMSC is tied to HGLW, and we're trying to get away from as much credit or creditors or things like that as possible so that we can finalize construction financing on Gideon. So that goes against us, right, to do that.
Go ahead, Councillor Cates.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Mayor. Just when I thought I got this, I'm like, "Woo."
I'm with you.
Okay. Good. So, I'm wondering, so option 4 is the one you just said. I was going to ask what the option 4 meant, but so it meant what I thought it did, that Epic is tied to that. I'm curious, or I'm wondering what Tiffany's thought is on your thought that it's different because it's secured by it already being there and it's already part of the municipality's assets. And I'm wondering your thoughts on that, please.
So through you, Mayor DeVete, that is actually already part of this community improvement program. So when staff developed it, it was at the suggestion of Dr. Chant coming forward with the recreational facilities. And we noticed within our CIP program that we don't have anything for recreational facilities. So there is 2 aspects to it to make sure that it hits many members and many businesses within the community. One being property, building on municipal property, so municipally owned land. And the security that was determined at that time through the development of the plan is to have land holdings with another property or to have a letter of credit. There is also the other program, or the same program, but the other avenue where you're building it on your own property and you'd be putting up that property as a security. In this situation, I understand that the bricks and mortar of the building has already been built. However, to keep within the CIP, a form of security is required. That would be my recommendation. At all levels, I would recommend security be obtained for the municipality. Yes, that would be my recommendation.
Follow on?
Yeah, thank you. In the old, sorry, through you, Madam Mayor, I think to Tiffany, in the old bylaw that was already approved a couple of years ago, did it not already make somebody here, one of these companies, a guarantor? Like, isn't somebody already currently a guarantor? And so if we picked another option with the guarantor, it'd be the same ones. Is that correct? It's there we go.
So through your Mayor DeVete, the original agreement in place is a license agreement, so there is no corporate guarantor. So the corporate guarantor is the option being presented as security for the loan. So the original agreement is just a license agreement. There is no loan aspect. So the guarantor is like guaranteeing the loan will be paid annually over the 15 years.
Okay, so, clear? Okay.
If I,
Oh, so no follow on though? You're,
Not yet.
okay. All right. Go.
yeah, if I may, sorry to confuse things even more, Sue. So the actual CIP program discusses that if it's going to be built on municipal land, that and property, that the municipal property cannot be used as security. It doesn't say anything about the building on it, But obviously, if we're building something on municipal property, the building's not there to use as security. That's for a standard typical application to this law. What I'm saying is this is not a standard. It's not, it's in a different order, right? The building's there already. So that's the point that I'm trying to make.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Mayor, I have a few questions for Tiffany. So my first one is just about the new agreement. Is there any rights to renew in the new agreement that would provide any extra term?
So through you, Mayor DeVite, we have not finalized an agreement. So that would be, if it would be the 15 years, I do believe that the draft does have like like
But
a renewal.
as a
term.
5-year extension, but at fair market value, we'd start paying
Yep. And
in addition.
sorry, 1 5-year term or?
I believe it's 1 5-year term option.
Okay, thank you.
But again, it's in draft form. It's been back and forth with the lawyers.
Okay, great. And then are there any restrictions on selling or transferring the business during this agreement?
Yeah, so through you, Mayor DeVite, so it is still in draft form. So it does have to remain with the applicant. So under that name, there is a clause or possibly a clause with respect to like subleasing that has been discussed through that process, but it would still be within HGLW holdings. That wouldn't transfer to somebody else.
Great, thank you. And my last question is, are there any annual reporting requirements as per the agreement?
So through you, Mayor DeVite, no, there wouldn't be any annual reporting requirements. It would just concern the lease agreement would have the annual loan payment, and then there'd be the additional rents such as like property taxes and utilities. I don't believe we had anything identified for reporting.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Deputy Mayor? Oh,
Yeah.
Tiffany, you're gonna have to go up.
You want me to take?
And then you can-
Through you, Madam Mayor, to Dr. Chant. I think you can understand the position that municipality's in. If we were to go ahead without any security, it would open the door for things that we don't want to go down, a road we don't want to go down, providing CIP loans without any security. And I understand your point that the building's already there, so it's, but the issue is we have to have security on the loan itself. So I'd be okay with option 4, but I don't think we can go the route of no security. I think to protect the municipality, we have to have something. So I think option 4 for me would work.
Okay.
Frank is on.
Oh,
You turn yours off?
you want to turn yours off?
I-
I think I was in first. She can go.
Hugh hasn't had his chance yet. He's been waiting to push the
Oh,
button. so-
okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Go ahead, Hugh.
Through your Madam Mayor, I agree, excuse me, I agree with Deputy Mayor Brennan. I'd be comfortable with just one guarantor. I believe that's option 4, but I think when you said it
Yeah,
before.
Tiffany said option 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to specify that, yeah, I think we were getting things. So, yeah, the one guarantor, whatever option you want to call it, that's.
Okay. And Councillor Bruce?
Okay, thank you. The other thing, I think that's the case, like whatever we come out of this with, the public will have a certain perception of this as well, and we have to make sure, we're on side that way. Anytime, having done corporate lending, anytime you impose guarantees, it does prove a deterrent for getting future financing for sure. But I would also like to point out that it has been successful, right, Dr. Chant, between your center in Ilderton and this center is successful. It appears as if it will be successful. You book a lot of ice time. You book rooms in the wellness center as well. So it's also a revenue generator. But one of the key points is without some security, it's gonna be a problem for the program, unfortunately. So that's all I got to say on that.
Thank you through you, Madam Mayor. I echo the deputy mayor and Frank. What I was going to say was, I could go with option 4. You know, it's all about the greater good. And I think that we need to remember, you know, I don't want to be sitting here in 4, 5, 6 years and have somebody go, who is the ding dong that voted for no security? Oh, that was me, right? So I think we have to remember the bigger picture, and we need to remember the municipality. And so I could go with option 4, but I do understand what you're saying about option 2, but I just don't think it's right to support that. Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Okay, so I think I'm basically hearing that council's ready to vote on this, and that basically what they're thinking is that we have a duty to ratepayers, and that would be something they're supporting. But is there anything else you'd like to add, Dr. Champ, before
A little
we call
bit.
a vote?
Yeah, a
Is-
little bit. Yeah, if that's all right. Madam.
Well,
Yeah,
if there's anything to the CIP,
yeah,
okay,
yeah. That, and again,
right, I saw your light was on.
well, sorry, I think it's been on the whole time. So.
Oh, okay, I didn't mean to
Um,
cut you off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I appreciate and I understand the reasoning behind this. I guess this is more of a statement than anything, is that I would say that we are in this situation not for fault of anyone in this room, really, but certainly not for fault of ours, right? It's not our responsibility to understand and know all of the municipal policies and things like that. And so, again, my opinion is that there is not a need for a guarantor because the building's already done. The likelihood of having another application even similar to this is not. And the analogy I'll use is if I walk into a bank and ask for $2.2 million and say, this property right beside you, I own outright and it's worth 2.6 million, and I'm going to gift that to you, which I've already done to the municipality. And not only am I going to gift that to you, when I pay back this loan at the end, you can keep it. Every bank in the world is going to take that deal. That's the last thing I'll say.
Okay, thank you. I should ask somebody. Let's assume a block, I'll fill in too. Call for a motion. Yeah. So I do need a motion from someone because we need to clarify what to fill in that blank spot for option.
I'll make a motion that we go with the CIP grant with option 4 as a guarantor.
Oh, sorry.
I would make a motion that we go ahead with the CIP grant and our loan and have option 4 as a guarantor for that CIP loan.
Okay, and a seconder, Councillor Shipley. Do you want me to read the whole motion? Okay, so I'll read the motion as it's recommended. And it is that report PLA 28/2026 regarding the recreational facility CIP loan program application be received. And further, that council directs staff to prepare and execute a loan agreement and other applicable agreements required to implement option 2. And it was moved and seconded. I'll call the
Option 4.
Oh, sorry, 4. Great. Oh, I didn't do that. I'm sorry. Yeah. I knew it was one. I'm sorry. That's bad. I feel really bad. So I have to call the vote now. All in favor? Opposed? Oh, I'm not going to live this down. Okay. It is unanimous, and I appreciate your time and effort. Thank you, everyone, for your comments. We'll wait till we have a chance to move. We don't have any notices of motion on today's agenda for consideration. The next item is advisory committee minutes, and we have a motion before us that all the items listed under the heading of advisory committee minutes for June 3rd, 2026 be received for information. I need a mover, please, and a seconder. I have Councillor Coles, Councillor Arts, thank you. All in favor? And that is unanimous carried. And now we can move to correspondence. All of these are received in one motion. Is there anything here anyone would like to speak to or comment on before we get to the motion? I see no hands. In that case, the motion before us is that all items listed under the heading of correspondence for June 3rd, 2026 be received for information. And I have Councillor Cates and Deputy Mayor Brennan. All in favor? And that is carried. I will now ask Deputy Mayor Brennan to provide an update on Middlesex County Council meeting that was held on May 26th. When you're ready. There you go.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Most of the updates, I think, are already in the agenda, and with the warden and the CEO here today, I think most of it's been covered. The tender for the Trossachs building renovation, as you may know, the county has bought that building, and they're going to be spending approximately $470,000 to upgrade it so it's more modern and more accessible for the paramedics working out of there. Other than that, there's not a lot else went on. It was a fairly short meeting, and I think I'll leave it at that.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for the deputy? Seeing none, then other business. Do councillors have anything they'd like to raise at this time? And I don't see any lights coming on. So at this point, then our next item is consideration of bylaws. The recommendation before us is that bylaw number 2026, number 37, and bylaw 2026, number 38 be passed and enacted. A mover, please, and a seconder. Councillor Close, Councillor Schlipley, all in favor? And that is carried. And the final item we have today is the recommendation that the June 3rd, 2026 meeting of Middlesex Centre Council be adjourned at 10:27 a.m. I have Councillor Coles, Deputy Mayor Brennan, thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you, everyone. And we stand adjourned.